I still remember the exact moment. Everything in my life tilted sideways. It wasn't a divorce. It wasn't even catching her cheating. It was a single text, for words that arrived on a cold October morning, 2 years after the dust had supposedly settled. We need to talk. It was from a number I didn't recognize. I stared at it for a long moment, the kind of stare where the world goes quiet. Because after everything that happened with my ex-wife, Claire, those words still carried the weight of a punch. Before I could type back, a sharp knock at my door. Not one, not two, three, heavy, deliberate. I opened it to find 2 officers standing on my porch. And that text? It suddenly made sense. But to understand why those words froze me, I need to take you back to the unraveling I never saw coming. Before the divorce, the cracks I ignored. I used to think betrayal hits all at once, like a gunshot, but truthfully it starts as static, quiet, easy to ignore. For us, it began with her phone. Claire used to leave it everywhere, kitchen counter, bathroom sink, inside the couch cushions. She was careless in a cute way. Then one day, she wasn't. She started keeping it face down. Not locked, just hidden. Little things shifted. She'd turn her body away when she typed. She'd flinch when it buzzed. I told myself it was work stress. I told myself I was overthinking. I told myself love meant trust. But trust without truth is just denial dressed nicely. There were missed calls she dismissed too quickly, late evenings that had vague explanations, and new perfume she claimed she bought for herself, but never wore home. Whenever I asked what was wrong, she'd smile too fast and say, "You're imagining things." And I believed her. For months, I believed her. I thought being a good husband meant giving her space. Turns out, it meant giving her a place to hide. The night everything broke. The truth didn't come from a big discovery. It came from exhaustion. Hers, not mine. She walked through the door one night looking drained, hair messy, clothes wrinkled in a way that didn't feel like work had done it. She dropped her bag, leaned on the counter, and whispered, "I can't do this anymore." I remember stepping toward her like she was wounded. "Do what?" "Babe, talk to me." She didn't cry. That somehow made it worse. "I've been seeing someone," she said. For a while, I didn't speak. My mind was running through every moment I doubted myself. Every time she told me I was paranoid. I asked only one question. "Do you love him?" She whispered, "I don't know." And that was enough. We split cleanly, or as cleanly as 2 people can after tearing each other open. No screaming, no dramatic scenes. Just papers, signatures, and silence. After the divorce, I rebuilt my life piece by piece. Therapy, long walks, nights where loneliness felt loud, and mornings where peace felt foreign. By year 2, I finally felt steady. That's when the text came. And the cops, back to the knock on my door. "Mr. Taylor?" the older officer asked. I nodded, heartbeat rising. "We need to ask you some questions about your ex-wife, Claire." Just hearing her name felt like reopening an old wound. "Is she okay?" The officers shared a look, quick but telling. "We're not sure," the younger one said. "She's missing." The world didn't just tilt. It split. "She's what?" "Missing," he repeated. "Disappeared 3 days ago." I leaned on the doorframe, trying to process it. It felt surreal, like a stranger's tragedy being laid at my doorstep. "What does this have to do with me?" I asked quietly. The older officer held out a plastic evidence bag. Inside it, a burner phone, cracked screen, cheap case, and on the lock screen, a photo of me and Claire from our honeymoon. My stomach dropped. "Where did you find this?" "In her car," he said. "It was abandoned outside a motel on Route 9. We traced the last outgoing message." He nodded toward my phone on the table behind me. "To you?" My hands turned cold. The text. "We need to talk." The message she sent right before she vanished. Why would she contact me? That question gnawed at me as I sat down with the officers. We talked for almost 2 hours. Did we have enemies? No. Did she owe anyone money? Not that I knew. Did I know the man she cheated with? Barely. A co-worker named Marcus. Then came the uncomfortable part. "Mr. Taylor, where were you the night she disappeared?" They asked it gently, but stung anyway, a reminder how betrayal stains everything, even your innocence. "I was home. Alone," I answered. "I haven't spoken to her in nearly a year." They didn't take notes immediately. They watched me first, gauging, measuring. Then they wrote. Before leaving, the younger officer paused. "If she reaches out again, call us." As if I needed to be told. The flood of memories I didn't want. After they left, I sat on my couch staring at nothing. This wasn't my problem anymore. We weren't married. She wasn't my responsibility. But that didn't stop memories from biting at me. The day we bought our first couch. The way she used to fall asleep on my chest. The text she sent the night before she confessed. "Love you. Be home soon." A lie, now retroactively venomous. I hated how part of me still cared. How part of me still wondered if she was scared, hurt, calling for me because I once knew her better than anyone. I hated that I still felt protective. But the worst part? A sharp, ugly whisper in my mind. What if the man she cheated with is involved? I tried to shake it off. I wasn't that person anymore, suspicious, insecure, paranoid. But betrayal rewires you. It makes doubt feel like instinct. The twist I never expected. 2 days later, the police were back. But this time, they weren't alone. They brought Marcus, her affair partner. His wrists were cuffed. I opened the door slowly, heart pounding. "What's happening?" I asked. Marcus avoided my eyes. His jaw was tight, his face pale. The officer answered for him. "We brought him in for questioning. He admitted that he and your ex-wife kept in contact after your divorce, but he left out one detail during the initial interview." I stared at Marcus. "Which detail?" Marcus swallowed hard. "She found out I was married," he muttered. I blinked. "You what?" He nodded miserably. "She thought I'd divorced my wife. I told her I would. I didn't. Claire threatened to tell my wife everything." A thick silence fell. "She disappeared 2 days later," I said numbly. The officer nodded grimly. "We're following up on all possible leads, including domestic conflict." Marcus shook his head violently. "I didn't hurt her. I swear. We argued, yes, but I left. She was alive when I left." He started to cry, not loud, not dramatic, just defeated. And for the first time, I believed him, because I recognized that expression. The face of someone who built their life on a lie and was watching it collapse. The same face I'd worn the night I learned the truth about my marriage. What closure actually looked like. Claire was found a week later, alive. She'd checked herself into a private mental health facility 2 towns over. She used a fake name, but her fingerprints matched. Turns out she wasn't kidnapped, hurt, or hiding from a threat. She'd been hiding from herself, from the guilt, from the choices that build up like unpaid debt, from the consequences she'd spent years outrunning. When the police told me, I felt everything: relief, anger, sadness, a twisted sense of compassion. She asked to see me. I said yes, not because I owed her anything, but because closure isn't something you wait for. It's something you claim. When I walked into the quiet visitation room, she looked smaller, almost fragile. "Why me?" I asked softly. "Why send me that message?" Her eyes filled instantly. "Because you were the only person who ever loved me without wanting anything in return. And I ruined that." I didn't argue. Sometimes silence says more than truth can. "I'm sorry," she whispered. And I believe that part, too. But apologies don't rebuild what betrayal destroys. "I hope you heal," I told her. "But I can't carry this with you anymore." She nodded, tears slipping down her face. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't cinematic. It was 2 people acknowledging the wreckage between them and choosing to walk away clean this time. When I left the building, the air felt cold but honest, like winter sunlight. Harsh but real. The ending that stayed with me. 2 years ago, I thought the worst moment of my life was discovering my wife had been unfaithful. But the truth? The worst moment was letting that betrayal define me. Today, I'm different. Not harder, just wiser. Betrayal taught me something brutal and necessary. Love doesn't fail when someone breaks your trust. Love fails when you keep holding on after they do. And when the police showed up at my door that day, I expected my past to drag me under again. Instead, it gave me the final piece I needed to let go. For good.